Signs of a silent heart attack in women over 60 you must know. A heart attack in women over 60 doesn't look like what you see in movies. No sudden chest pain, no collapsing, just mild fatigue, a little nausea, some back pain or brief dizziness. It feels so harmless that most women ignore it. Have you ever brushed off those feelings and told yourself, it's probably nothing? Every year, tens of thousands of mothers, wives, and grandmothers die because no one told them these are early signs of a heart attack. Not because they didn't care, but because no one warned them. This video will show you exactly what to look for before it's too late. Backed by the American Heart Association, these are signs that could help you act early, get help faster, and stay alive for your loved ones. Are you sure you're not ignoring one of those signs right now? Stay with me until the end, because one small warning you recognize today might save your life tomorrow. Sign 1. Extreme fatigue with no clear reason. One of the most silent but dangerous signs of a heart attack in women over 60 is a deep, unexplained fatigue. This isn't the typical tiredness after gardening or tidying up. It's a kind of exhaustion that comes out of nowhere, even after simple tasks like folding a few clothes or walking a short distance inside the house. Many people assume it's just aging or lack of sleep, but in reality, this could be one of the earliest silent signs of a heart attack in older adults. There has been cases where a woman had to sit down and rest after just 10 minutes of wiping the kitchen counter. Her body simply had no energy left. That had never happened to her before, and that's the red flag. This sign can last for days and is often mistaken for the flu, a vitamin deficiency, or simply having a low-energy day. But according to many cardiologists, extreme fatigue with no clear cause, especially in older women, needs more attention. Because it may mean your heart is working harder than usual without you even knowing it. If you've noticed your mother, your wife, or a woman your age needing to rest more after doing the things she used to do easily, don't ignore it. Why is this symptom often overlooked? Because it's not dramatic. There's no sharp chest pain, no collapse, no screaming. Just a few minutes lying down, a quiet complaint of tiredness, and then back to routine. But if this keeps happening, or comes with insomnia, mild back pain, or loss of appetite, it could be your heart sending a warning. This is especially true for American women over 60. Research from the American Heart Association shows that nearly half of all heart attacks in women happen without chest pain. So please, pay attention. If someone you love becomes unusually tired doing even small things, don't wait for chest pain. Treat that as an early sign that deserves a checkup. Up next, we'll look at more silent warning signs of heart attacks in women over 60. The kind that are easy to miss but could save a life if caught in time. Sign 2. Discomfort in the back, neck, jaw, or arms. It's not the sharp, crushing chest pain we often imagine. For women over 60, a heart attack can start very quietly. Sometimes it's just a dull ache or discomfort in the middle of the back, behind the shoulder blades, or around the neck and jaw. Some describe it as a sore muscle after sleeping in a bad position. Others mistake it for joint pain due to weather changes or too much activity. And because of that, they ignore it. According to a survey in Pennsylvania, in a senior living community, over 40% of women had experienced this symptom but never linked it to signs of a heart attack in women over 60. Most simply thought, maybe I carried a heavy bag yesterday, or it's just age catching up to me. The story of Eleanor, 68, is a powerful reminder. While grocery shopping with her granddaughter, she felt unusual soreness in her back. The ache lingered longer than usual and spread to her shoulders and neck. She thought it was just from pushing a heavy cart, so she decided to rest. But once she got home, she began feeling tired and slightly short of breath. Luckily, her granddaughter called 911 just in time. The hospital confirmed it was a mild heart attack.
A few more hours of waiting, and things could have turned out much worse.
This story shows us one thing. Pain isn't always intense, but the consequences can be. If you or someone you love has felt unexplained soreness in the back, neck, or shoulders, don't brush it off. These could be quiet warnings from your heart, especially after 60. Leave a comment if you ever thought, it's just aging pain. Many have until it was almost too late. Next, we'll look at a symptom so simple, it has robbed many women of the critical time they needed to save themselves. And chances are, you may have felt it too without even realizing it. Stay with us, because the next sign is even easier to miss. Sign 3. Nausea or flu-like symptoms. Nausea, chills, or that sluggish flu-like feeling, you might have experienced these symptoms and just chalk them up to a sensitive stomach or a mild cold. But few people realize these can be early signs of a heart attack in women and older adults, often overlooked. Mild, unexplained nausea that lingers, sometimes paired with fatigue or discomfort in the upper abdomen, could be your body's quiet warning of something much more serious. A BASED study revealed that over 40% of women over 60 experienced flu-like symptoms, such as nausea, chills, or unexplained fatigue in the days leading up to a heart attack. But because the symptoms weren't obvious, many dismissed them. They took cold medicine, drank warm fluids, and got some rest, thinking they'd feel better in a few days.
What they didn't realize was that their heart was in trouble. One real-life case in Michigan last year made many people rethink what a heart attack looks like. A 64-year-old woman went to the clinic after nearly a week of ongoing nausea and mild flu-like symptoms. She didn't have chest pain, she wasn't short of breath, she just felt increasingly weak and had no appetite. When doctors ran tests, they discovered she was in the middle of a silent heart attack. Thankfully, she received care just in time. But had she waited even one more day, the outcome could have been far worse. Her story was later shared widely across heart attack awareness forums, opening many eyes to the danger behind seemingly harmless signs. What's heartbreaking is that many people still underestimate these symptoms. They don't know that in older adults, especially women, heart attacks without chest pain are entirely possible. Instead, mild symptoms like nausea, dizziness, or simply not feeling right may be the only warning signs. If someone in your family has ever said, "I feel off, like I'm coming down with something," but they had no fever, no cough, no congestion, don't ignore it. Help them get a heart health check. That could be your one chance to protect someone you love from a major crisis. Have you ever witnessed something similar in your own family? Share it in the comments.
It might not just be a story, it could be a wake-up call for thousands watching this video. And in the next section, we'll look at another silent warning sign that could be putting your heart at risk without you even realizing it. Sign 4. Shortness of breath, even at rest. Shortness of breath is one of the most silent, yet critical warning signs of a heart attack, especially in women over 60. The alarming part? This symptom is often dismissed as a normal part of aging, lack of exercise, or anxiety. But in reality, it can be a cry for help from your heart. If you find yourself getting winded just walking from the bedroom to the kitchen, or feeling like you've climbed several flights of stairs when you're simply sitting still, that's not normal. Many people assume a heart attack must come with crushing chest pain or sudden collapse. But according to cardiologists, mild but persistent shortness of breath is a classic sign of a heart attack in older adults, particularly women. A survey from senior healthcare centers found that 43% of women over 60 had experienced breathlessness during daily activities, but never sought medical help, believing it was just aging or the weather. Imagine this common scenario: an elderly woman living with her family. She used to cook and tidy up regularly,
But lately, just climbing one flight of stairs or preparing a simple meal leaves her pausing multiple times to catch her breath.
There's no sharp pain, just a slow, quiet fatigue. She moves less, talks less, and seems more tired every day. Her family thinks she's just getting older. Then one day, she's rushed to the hospital after a silent heart attack nearly takes her life. Shortness of breath at rest is also often mistaken for respiratory issues like asthma or pneumonia, especially during colder months. But the key difference is that heart-related breathlessness tends to be persistent with no obvious trigger and doesn't improve with rest. That's why terms like shortness of breath in elderly, silent heart attack symptoms, and heart attack warning signs in women over 60 are now being searched more than ever. If you or someone you love starts experiencing unexplained breathlessness, don't ignore it. Track how often it happens, when and under what circumstances, and see a doctor as soon as possible. Your body always speaks when something's wrong. The question is, are you listening? Sign 5. Dizziness or lightheadedness. One of the early signs of a heart attack that many people overlook is feeling lightheaded, dizzy, or faint. It can happen when you stand up suddenly or even just step outside or walk into another room and suddenly everything seems to spin. The concerning part is that this symptom is often mistaken for lack of sleep, low blood pressure, or simply getting older. But in reality, it could be a serious warning from your heart.
According to recent medical statistics in the U.S., people over 55 increasingly experience dizziness when changing positions. Women, in particular, tend to mistake it for hormonal issues or inner ear problems. However, cardiologists warn that when dizziness is accompanied by fatigue and nausea, your heart might be the culprit. When your brain isn't receiving enough blood, it could be a clear sign of myocardial ischemia, a condition that, if ignored, can lead to a heart attack. A 63-year-old woman living in the suburbs once felt her vision darken just from getting up off the couch. At first, she blamed the summer heat, but after it happened several more times in a week, her family urged her to see a doctor. She was diagnosed with mild coronary artery blockage. Thanks to early detection, she was able to avoid a major heart attack just a few months later. That feeling of being off balance, like you can't stay on your feet or need to sit down for no clear reason, should never be brushed off. It's not always a harmless sign of aging. In many cases, it's your body's way of saying the heart is under strain. When your heart can't pump enough blood to your brain, you feel lightheaded, sometimes with shortness of breath or a dull headache. Many people, distracted or dismissive, ignore it and lose the chance to prevent a heart attack before it strikes. The key is, if these symptoms keep happening, don't wait.
Get your heart checked. Being proactive could save you from a life-threatening event. And if you've ever witnessed someone in your family or circle of friends go through this, share that story. Sometimes a single shared experience can save a life. Sign 6. Anxiety or a vague sense of impending doom. Many people assume that a heart attack always comes with intense chest pain or difficulty breathing. But in reality, the body often sends out early warnings in subtler ways, signals we might miss if we're not paying close attention. One of those warnings is a vague feeling of anxiety or an unshakable sense that something's not right, even when there's no clear reason. In recent years, more and more middle-aged women have reported experiencing a few days of insomnia, unexplained restlessness, or fluttering in the chest before being hospitalized for a heart attack. It wasn't just regular fatigue or job stress. It was a strange, unsettling feeling they couldn't shake. In 2022, a survey in New York found that 30% of women over 55 who were hospitalized for a heart attack had felt anxious or unusually restless in the days before.
But none of them realized it was a sign from the heart. A research group at the University of California also emphasized that emotions can sometimes be the heart's first warning bell.
Because the nervous system and cardiovascular system are deeply connected, any abnormal change in emotion might be an early red flag. Sometimes anxiety doesn't come from life stress. It comes from the body itself, trying to get your attention. And the key is not to ignore that feeling just because there's no physical symptom to go with it. If you've been feeling anxious for no obvious reason, or if you've had several nights of poor sleep without any major change in your life, don't hesitate to get your heart health checked. Anxiety isn't always just in your head. It can be a quiet but urgent signal from your heart. So if you've ever felt something like this, share in the comments. I've felt that too. You're not alone in learning to listen to your body. And if you're looking for more silent heart attack signs, stay with us, because the next one could be the key to protecting yourself or someone you love. Sign 7. Cold sweats, especially while at rest. In everyday life, sweating is perfectly normal. It happens when we exercise, feel nervous, or face hot weather. But if you or someone you love suddenly breaks out in a cold sweat while resting, not moving, and in a cool environment, don't ignore it. This could be an early warning sign of a heart attack, especially in middle-aged women. Some describe it as a chill down the spine, or sweat pouring for no reason while simply watching TV or lying down. Others mistake it for anxiety or think it's just a weather change. But here's the danger. Cold sweats like this can happen when the heart isn't getting enough blood or oxygen. It's struggling, and sweating may be one of the few ways your body tries to sound the alarm. In fact, nearly 40% of women hospitalized for heart attacks reported experiencing cold sweats beforehand, yet none of them connected it to their heart. These episodes often happen in the middle of the night, waking people with a strange discomfort. But because there's no chest pain or collapse like in the movies, many ignore the warning. Take Amanda, for example, a healthy woman in her 60s with no history of heart problems. One evening, while quietly reading, she suddenly broke into a cold sweat. No fever, no flu, no exercise. That was her first and only sign before she was rushed to the hospital for a heart attack just hours later. And cases like hers are far from rare. In fact, if you search online for phrases like early signs of heart attack in women or silent heart attack symptoms, cold sweating keeps coming up again and again. So what should you take from this? Listen to your body. Cold sweats at rest are not normal. And if they come with fatigue, dizziness, or nausea, even if it's mild, take them seriously. Have you ever seen a loved one wake up drenched in sweat with no fever or illness?
Leave a comment, even just a dot, to help others realize how real this warning can be. Sometimes, a single shared experience can save a life. What should you do when these signs appear? Many middle-aged Americans tend to wait, hoping the symptoms will just go away. But with the heart, delay can cost a life. If you experience more than one heart attack symptom in women over 60 at the same time, lasting for days or coming and going repeatedly, the most important thing to do is call 911 immediately. Do not drive yourself to the hospital. You could lose consciousness at any moment. When calling emergency services, clearly state that you suspect a heart attack. That clarity helps responders act faster and prepare the right life-saving care. Many people have said they felt something was off, but because there was no obvious chest pain, they tried to push through it. Sadly, some of them never made it to the hospital. That's why you must listen to your intuition. It's not a weakness. It's not overthinking. It's your survival instinct. It's your body speaking before it's too late. How can you protect your heart every day? Catching the early signs of a heart attack in older adults is vital, but the more sustainable approach is preventing it from the root. Don't wait until your heart sounds the alarm. Care for it today with small, simple habits. First, eat heart smart.
Cut back on saturated fats and eat more leafy greens and whole grains to manage cholesterol and blood pressure, two major heart attack risks. Combine that with 30 minutes of walking a day and you'll boost both heart health and mental well-being. Don't skip your annual heart checkups. Monitor your blood pressure and cholesterol levels. Many people live with high cholesterol without knowing it until it's too late. And don't overlook stress. Learn how to manage it. Sleep 7 to 8 hours every night so your heart gets the rest it needs. Thank you for watching today's video. If even one of these signs reminded you of yourself or someone you love, then you've just learned something that could save a life. Don't keep it to yourself. A simple share could be the difference between life and too late. Tap like if you found this video helpful. Leave a comment because your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And hit subscribe to keep getting practical tips to help you and your loved ones live healthier, longer, and fuller lives. In the next video, we'll share simple daily habits that help prevent heart attacks, especially effective for people over 60. See you then.